Hey everybody, TruthSurge here. This video is going to be more or less a screen capture and sort of a look into how I would investigate a claim regarding the Bible. This is precipitated by a video of Phil Helene, or Helene's, probably not pronouncing it right. Anyway, he did a video debunking this idea that the mention of iron coming down from the sky was a miracle in the Quran. And so I don't disagree with the overall conclusion, but he made two claims in the video that, made my ears prick up, and I was like, I never heard that before, and I've kept my nose in the Bible quite a bit. So then I went and did a quick snooping around, and pretty much the claims were not true. So I emailed him, or I commented, and he was like, well, I'm not going to change the video on your say-so. Neither one of us are experts. And then after that, I was like, well, it's not really my say-so. It's a say-so of a lot of people, and you could easily verify it. And then he actually came back and said, why don't you do a video? And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm not really going to, attack his claims, because they're not his claims. He got them off of a website, but they are misleading. They're just not true. And I want to show you basically what I did to figure that out. So it might be informative to some of you. Some of you it might be old hat, but I thought this would be a good chance for me to show you kind of like where I might go to look up stuff on the web. So anyway, let's assume you run across a video on YouTube and it makes a claim that you're, maybe you're a little skeptical about. Oh, I don't know. It might claim something like this.
It's no surprise Muhammad should mention meteorites in the Quran. They have always been seen as mystical objects. The Bible mentions them.
So anyway, you get a claim like that says that the Bible mentions meteorites. Okay, well, the first thing I would do is I would open up Firefox, my browser, and I'll be able to zoom into some of this, and I will go to a bookmark. First thing we want to do is go to a searchable Bible. I recommend blueletterbible.com. So I'll go there, and then what we'll do, first of all, is see if the word meteorite exists in any of the translations. And see this little drop-down box here? There's several translations here. King James, New King James, NLT, New Living Translation, NIV, non-inspired version. Oh, I mean, New International Version. Lots of translations here, but these aren't the only ones. So what we want to do is see if the word meteorite is actually in the Bible. If the Bible mentions the word meteorite, surely we should find it. So I'll type it into the search box here, meteorite, make sure I spell it right, and I just click search, and it'll see if it's in the King James Version. Sorry, the word meteorite doesn't occur in the King James Version. Come up to the drop down and click New King James Version, and I think we have to hit search again. Nope, the word meteorite doesn't occur in the New King James Version. Well, we could keep doing this experiment for all these different versions. We didn't get hit. NIV, nothing. English, nothing. NASB, nothing. Revised Standard Version, nothing. Young's Literal Translation, nothing. Let's go to Darby's translation, nothing. Vulgate, nothing. So what this tells me is that none of the translators of the Bible throughout the last 500 centuries, 500 years, not centuries, 5 centuries, well, including the Vulgate, Jerome's Vulgate, that was done about 1500 years ago. None of these people felt like any of the Hebrew words in the Old Testament justified a translation of the word meteorite. It doesn't exist in the Bible. the idea of a meteorite, a stone that fell from the sky, it just doesn't, it's not in there. Now, we could test meteor, but it's not going to be in there either. Now, the other point is, well, maybe it's in there, you know, in a different way. Maybe there is a word that means that, but they just translated it wrong throughout all those centuries. And that's basically leads me to the second claim that Phil has in this video, which says that, well, let me just play it and you can hear it.
In Hebrew, meteorites were called betyls, an equivalent of the Greek word betylia.
Okay, so there you go. It says that the Hebrew word for meteorite is betyl, B-E-T-Y-L. All right. Now, if that's true, it's amazing to me that none of the translators throughout the centuries knew that the Hebrew word for meteorite was B-E-T-Y-L, because meteorite doesn't exist in any of the translations. In fact, we could even go to the Septuagint. Let me go to my bookmark. The Septuagint is the Greek translation, finished sometime in the 2nd century BCE. It's the Greek translation of the Old Testament. And this was translated, 2100, 2200 years ago by the scholars in Egypt, Alexandria. So we could go to the Septuagint and do a search and see if we find meteorite. Well, I'm going to search in the search box. Hang on a minute. Meteorite. And we come up with precisely nothing. All right. Now let's see if we can find whether or not this word is actually a Hebrew word. B-E-T-Y-L. I'm going to go to... now this Septuagint was, I'll put these links in the description so you don't have to worry about it. But the Septuagint was an online thing that you could actually search. Make sure you can search these or you'll be sitting here a long time. Now, where was I going to go? We were going to look up the word B-E-T-Y-L. Now I've gone to a searchable Strong's Concordance that has both the Hebrew and Greek words in it. So what I do, I check Hebrew. It's already pre-checked. And I just type in what I want to search for. Now let's do one just to make sure it actually works. I'm going to type in Adam, and I'm going to hit search. Now Adam is a Hebrew word that means roughly reddish in color, but it also means man. It does have at least those two meanings. But we click. Now we got some hits coming back. Adam, autumn, to show blood in the face, ruddy, flush or rose-colored, but it also means man, a human being, mankind, and we can see that in these usages. So we know that the search is working. We could type in virgin, which is actually not a Hebrew word, but we will get back the Hebrew word for virgin. So the search works both on the English part and the Hebrew part. So here we go. Bethulah or Bethulah. That means a virgin. But these two have different meanings. Alma could mean just a young maiden. So you can look up these things and then read what they mean and then try to figure out, using context, just like anyone would. But now what we need to do, if there is a Hebrew word that means meteorite, and if it is B-E-T-Y-L, we should find it here, B-E-T-Y-L. So let's see if there's anything in there, B-E-T-Y-L, that looks like that. No matching entries found. So there's not even a word in Hebrew that's spelled B-E-T-Y-L. So let's do another search for meteorite. Meteorite. Now we're searching Strong's Hebrew lexicon for the word meteorite. If there's any Hebrew word that translates to meteorite, it's going to find it. Hit search. No matching entries found. Nothing. Zilch. Nada. There's nothing there.